Welcome to our next guest, Carol Schofield, a candidate for the City of Victor Harbor Council. Carol, what expertise do you bring to the council from your business and community life?
Well, I have marketing skills, business skills, but I also have corporate governance skills after sitting on some of the government's industry development boards and chairing the Advisory Board of Agriculture. And of course, over the last 4 years, I have learnt quite a lot about local government.
Good governance of council, what does that mean to you?
Good governance to me is ensuring that we have good policies that are updated on a regular basis, that the policies are available to our community, that our finances and any policies in that related to finances are clearly understood by our community. And that may be that we need to perhaps have another look at how we present our financial documents to the public, which is slightly separately to how council do their work.
Over the last 4 years, there's been many instances of disharmony on council. How do you feel?
Oh, look, I think it comes down to personalities. You get 9 pretty strong people in a room. We're all there for the one reason, and that's our community. I guess one of the things is that any group needs to understand each other. They need to understand how each of us work, what our key thoughts are. And I guess that's by bringing the group together for some sort of training for a couple of days to give us a better understanding of each other and what our key issues are, how we think on different things, because we are individuals working really in a highly profiled position, and I think we need to have a clearer understanding of where we all fit into that picture and understand that we're not always going to agree on everything.
Major issues have been the costs of the council-run businesses, the horse tram, the whale centre, the Tourist Information Office, FRAC, and of course the Waste Management Authority. Have you any comments about that?
Oh, my views. Look, council is council. They are a service that provides to the people. They're not business people. And I think some of our services should be run slightly different as businesses. And it comes back to when I was talking about looking at our finances and developing some sort of finance report that the general public, including myself, have a better understanding of. And that comes back to those businesses. Take the horse tram, that should be run as an independent business that has its budget, needs to stay within its budget. The same with the whale centre. And I think the whale centre needs revisiting. Have another look at it. Is it really fitting in to what we want or the expectation of our market at the moment? Does it fit into that? Does it need a little bit of a change? The FRAC, fantastic. People have said to me we didn't approve of it, we now approve of it. But I believe that we have actually given them another until February or March to come back and review their report. And I think it's important that we have a look at that and that both councils sit down together to look at that particular business and how it's operating.
Rates are a major issue in our community. Have you a view?
Rates. Look, I, like everybody else, don't want my rates to go up. I have a budget that I have to live by. But it's working out the benefits to the community, and each sector of the community have needs. The services that we provide as a council, look at the well-being of our community, and there's several reasons, and to just cap rates, what are we actually cutting? Is it the cancer cars? Is it our library services? If we cut our library services down, what impact is that going to have? Because when I've been there and had a look, we have elderly people going in there using the services to keep warm, to keep cool. We've got young mothers with their children in there. It provides just a lot more than a library. It's a community centre. It's a very, very difficult thing to look at your rates, look at your services, and work out where your cuts can come from. Perhaps within the corporation itself. Do we then look at our employment? Are there avenues of being more efficient? And I think that's one of the things that our new CEO is actually looking at the moment.
Council committees, are you prepared to serve on them?
Definitely. I think I currently sit on 6 of them, and each of them are very important. I believe that they bring the community into the discussion, and that's what we're about. We're about community, and they need to have an input, and I believe that that's the best way that they have that input is on those committees. And I've thoroughly enjoyed serving on each of the committees.
Council community forums, have you a view as to how they should be run?
Oh, look, they're important, extremely important. They sort of sit with me the same as the committees. It's a chance for, one, the community to understand and get to know their elected member, feel more comfortable with those elected members, they're then more likely to pick up the phone and talk about issues. But to me, it's listening. I believe as councillors, we should be listening to what our community has to say. And that's where those community forums give us the opportunity to listen to what the people want.
State government is pushing more and more regulations onto council. Your views?
Well, look, I don't think that's fair. And it's one of the reasons why our rates go up. It's more and more, you know, they tend to be passing the buck and not considering the amount of resources, human resources, that we need to fill that obligation for them. And I personally don't think it's right.
Rate capping. What are your views about rate capping?
I've been lucky enough to be in interstate, and I've heard how rate capping's affected some of the councils on the eastern seaboard. I would hate to see that imposition happening to our community. I'd like to know a little bit more about how the state government are going to manage that rate capping. I believe interstate that there is a fee, so if you need to put your rates up, then you have to apply. I'd hate to think also last year, I believe that it cost us around $1 million for Tabernacle Road, for the Inman River, and the work that we had to do on the foreshore. Now, if that had come in with rate capping, how would we have been able to manage that money? I mean, look, I could be up the wrong tree here, but I look at that, I look at some of the emergency things that we have to do. How does that actually fit in with our rate, if there is a rate capping, and how is it going to impose on our community? The last thing we want is our community to miss out on services and that because we haven't thought through the correct process that's going to protect them.
Building approval via the council CAP or Community Planning Authority only has one councillor on it. How do you feel about that?
Look, who's in control? It's our town. We understand it more than anybody else. We understand where the best farming land is, and we need to protect our farming land for the future. I personally don't think it's right that we have 4 independent people from Adelaide. At the moment, I'm only 1 elected member, and these people have the control, and we have very little say in it. And honestly, I don't believe it's right.
Carol, can you give us a 20-second summary of why our viewers should vote for you?
Oh gosh, why would I vote for myself? I think that's what you have to ask yourself. Look, I have a passion about Victor Harbour. I'm passionate about the people and their achievements. I'd like to think that something that I do in my term is leaving a legacy for the future. I am honest. I do think outside the square. And yeah, I guess it's up to the people. And in the end of the day, I'm not there for me, I'm there for you. Authorised by Carol Jean Schofield, 41 Prime Boulevard in Counter Bay, South Australia. Spoken by Terry Andrews and Carol Jean Schofield.
South Coast Television, your community, your voice.